Hello everybody. Today I'm working on this Shrubby Honeysuckle, or Lonicera Nitida to give it its Latin name. I'm styling this one in the shape of a African savanna acacia tree. In fact, my daughter bought me a little giraffe which she thought it would be funny to sit next to it. Not quite the right scale, unfortunately. It would be a very hungry giraffe. Wouldn't be able to reach any of this nice succulent green growth, but never mind. So I'm gradually lifting the canopy, trying to create that gnarled finger-like look that you get for a sort of upturned palm that you often get with savanna type trees. Usually caused, I'm told, whether it's true or not I'm not entirely sure, by giraffes nibbling all the way and leaving the top growth that they can't reach. So maybe my daughter was onto something with that giraffe. So yeah, gradually refining the canopy. Don't want it to be topiary, as I've said before in the recent box video. So just cutting away some of these really long shoots that tend to lie sideways, because I want to get that forking action going. Remove some of these lower shoots like so, and there we go. I'll just give you a quick shot of the Nebari, which is quite nice, I think, though it needs the moss cleaning away. Okay, so yeah, just cleaning away some of this moss from between the roots, but they're looking really quite good at the moment. Nice radial pattern, holding onto that soil nicely. Yeah, very pleased with that. Okay, so here's another one. This is a twin trunk Lonicera that I've actually done a bit of carving on. Nothing spectacular, but I'm quite pleased with it. This is styled in a more traditional left branch, right branch, back branch style of tree, which is okay, but it does have a tendency to look a little bit topiary like, especially when it's just been trimmed as this one has, as it gets a little bit more shaggy as it starts to grow out. Then again it looks a little bit less so, and looks a bit more natural, which I suppose stands to reason. I'll show you a couple of pictures of some other trees that I've grown of this species. As I say, you know, they're okay. They have their place in my collection. It's always a battle of trying to get in and cut out whole little branches, again to try and get that branching structure rather than just a straight cut piece of topiary sculpture. So I've been working on a tree that I'm going to try and do in a more naturalistic style. So let's move this one out of the way and we'll have a look at that. Okay, so this is a tree that I've had in training a number of years, initially in the ground. In fact, I think it might have been a sucker from another plant, and then more latterly in this large pot. Has quite a reasonably substantial trunk, maybe 2 inches, inch and a half, 2 inches across there. Secondary trunk, and even a third minor trunk at the back there. So I'm going to try and put it into a bonsai training pot today. They're tough as old boots, Lonicera. They take all sorts of abuse, and nice with these short leaves, small leaves as well. So they do make good candidates for bonsai. But I was just a bit bored with the trees I was creating, that traditional pine type style, and hence the acacia, which I have to confess was inspired by a similar looking sort of tree that Nigel Saunders created on his channel. So I decided that I wanted to do something also. I want to try and create something that looks more like a broadleaf tree from this particular piece of material. So first thing I'm going to do is try and get it out of the pot. It's been in here a number of years, so we'll see how root bound it is. Quite is the answer. So it is well, it's the 28th, no, it's the 26th of April today, so it's getting on a bit late in the year, but a lot of the bottom of this pot is crocks and pebbles and things for drainage, so I think I can get away with removing a big chunk all at once. This is an old pruning saw that has seen better days, so rather than try and hack through this with a pair of scissors, I'm just going to take the pruning saw and go right through. It looks more brutal than it is, I'm sure, although I'm not a tree and I've never had my roots sawn off, so maybe I'm wrong. Anyway, so that's got rid of a lot of root, but also a lot of that was also pebbles and stones, so that's better. Okay, so here's my training pot. It's going to be needing a little off the front and a little off the back to make this round a more oblong rectangle, and then we should be able to get it into this pot with very little fuss. I do just want to quickly explore the nabari a little, so we can, oops, not the camera, sorry, see what we've got in the way of surface roots. Not a great deal here at what is my tended front, but that's okay. Some interesting roots at the side which will help. And a big old chunky root at the back, which I'll probably leave on for now, but may remove in later workings on this tree. Okay, so I've removed quite a lot of soil at the front already, and it's just falling away, so I'm going to have to slice a big chunk off the back here. Okay, so that is actually going to fit in there really nicely. I might want to take a little more off this side. Okay, so that looks like that's going to fit in there really nicely. Yeah, I'm pleased with that. So let's bring in some fresh soil mix. Okay, so a little bit of compost at the bottom, snuggle the tree down into it. and start to fill in. I do want the tree to move a little bit more this way, so let's try and get the soil into it on this side first. I've left myself a bit of a tight fit, but don't want to remove too much root this time, although as I say, this tree is as tough as old boots. This species of tree is generally speaking as tough as old boots, and they will take all kinds of low temperatures, high temperatures. They'll cope with frost, they'll cope with the hot weather equally well. Obviously I'm going to protect this tree for the next little while and make sure it doesn't get exposed to extreme temperatures or frosts. I'm going to tuck it away somewhere in the shade once I finish working on it. Okay, so you may feel that the tree is a bit far forward in the pot, but that is because at the moment, despite it being central in the original pot, it had almost all its roots at the back of the tree, very little at the front, and as I said, I want this tree to remain healthy, and that's always my first goal with every tree, every repotting, every piece of work I do on a tree. So I could have sliced away more root at the back of the tree to make it fit more centrally in the pot, but actually I quite like it where it is, and this will give it the best chance to recover and become a good healthy bonsai tree. So yeah, still got an interesting bit of nibari going on. Just try and pull that piece off. A couple of little suckers there off a root. Okay, so we'll give this a drink and start to just do a bit of styling. Okay, so that was more than half a watering can full. Making sure that the water running is out, it's nice and clear. So I did say styling, and I of course meant initial styling. There are some obvious pieces that need to come off straight away. A couple of these long shoots that have just sprouted from the trunk and gone straight up need to go. There's a couple more just there and there. I'm just going to remove all the pieces from this lower section of trunk. Another one of those long suckers at the back here, which we can get rid of. Okay, some very spindly little pieces of growth. There's one thing you do need to watch on these trees, is they will suddenly throw up a piece that heads for the sky, which is okay if you want a long, straight, tall piece, but generally you don't, so they're just a nuisance. Okay, so this piece I'm going to shorten back like so. I don't know if I will keep it yet in a final design, but it's not out of the question. Okay, so what I'm going to try and do now is induce branching by cutting away the tips, and I want to create that gnarled branch structure that you get with a broadleaf tree. It may not be possible with this species, though I don't see why not. At the end of the day, it's something different in my collection. It's not going to be set on the bench looking like all the other Loniceras, and you know, that's important to me because I like the variety. I grow a lot of trees. I try to grow a lot of styles. Some would say I've got too many trees to look after them properly. I would argue that yes, there is a point to that argument. On the other hand, if you don't work on lots of trees, you don't get lots of challenges, you don't learn as much. And I'm not trying to make a living at this. I'm not trying to become, you know, the world's greatest bonsai artist. This is just me having fun with my trees. Sharing it with you guys. If you like them, you like them. If you don't, you can tell me in the comments. Politely. Politely is nice, but I really don't mind if people want to say, you know, I would have done it differently, or that doesn't look right. Each to their own. So yeah, so over the next 5, 10, 15 years, I want to create a canopy up here somewhere, with more trunk-like, branch-like formation in this section, just as you would in a broadleaf tree. Can it be done? I don't know. This is just the foundations of it. I'd like to think it can be. Either way, we shall see. Let's give you a quick spin around. I haven't got it on the turntable, so please excuse any scraping noises. There we go. So, thank you all for watching. In the meantime, until next time, please do look after yourselves and stay safe.